Hey everybody, it's Tim Rhey with True Rate Mortgage Group, and I am going to give you a quick market update. Hopefully it'll be quick. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Right now, the market's up 34 basis points. That's the bond market. 10-year Treasury's looking good as well. So what actually happened? Well, a couple days ago, it was reported that Donald Trump was done with Jerome Powell. He made a statement, said, Jerome is gone. Don't like this dude. He's too soft, too conservative, and he's not listening to the economy. That's really what Trump was kind of saying. So Trump dropped the sledgehammer of words, which is what he does, and the market did not like it because that created uncertainty and volatility. Yesterday, it was reported that the president is with Jerome. We're going to keep him around for a while. And immediately the markets loved it because it was security, right? Every time things are predictable and secure, we know that the bond market likes it. We know this. We even know stock market likes it. The Dow Jones is up 600 right now. So the markets like this. What I want to focus on today is another topic similar to this, and it's called manipulation, market manipulation. We talk about it all the time. We talk about how the headlines can move the market. You hear economic news reach the headlines, it can shake up the whole market. Donald Trump says one thing about China and tariffs, and the market can react negatively. We can lose money. Donald Trump can say we're gonna fire this Jerome Powell guy because he's not doing his job. The market crashes. Donald Trump says the opposite. We're going to keep him. We're going to give it some time. Donald has a calm approach. The market's positive. People talk about this manipulation and they blame Congress and they blame the president and they blame the newspapers. They blame everybody. But here's the problem. The real problem. Don't blame the people who are manipulating the market. Blame the market that you can manipulate. Our Federal Reserve System should not be so easy to manipulate. Now, if you think about it, if it can be manipulated that much and money can leave based off of a headline or a word or even a thought that somebody in power has, well, that's pretty crazy. So I got to thinking, let's take a look at the central bank, the Federal Reserve System, which we always talk about. The Federal Reserve System is made up of board members. You got Jerome at the top, and you have 12 reserve banks. They're scattered all over the country in different zones. The Federal Reserve System is designed for stability and also to control inflation. That is the job of the Federal Reserve. Now, underneath the Federal Reserve are what we call regional banks, or banks you maybe have heard of, banks like Chase Bank, Bank of America. Now, the Federal Reserve is not for profit. They're very, very clear about that. They are an independent organization located within the government. And by the way, they're partially privately owned and partially government owned. So they're not funded by the government. Very important. Remember, we're talking about manipulation here. Follow me here. Follow me. 12 reserve banks, independently owned, half private, half federal government, but not government. Underneath them, we have these other banks like Chase. We'll call them regional banks. The regional banks can make money and do make money. They actually get 6% dividends off of the profits of the federal system. Well, I got to thinking about this. Well, why is it not a flat dollar figure? Why not just pay them $1 million every month steady so that they are not influenced to make more money, right? Because if they're getting 6% of $200 million, that's a heck of a lot more than 6% of $100 million. So these banks are encouraged. And by the way, these members, these regional banks, they help select the members of the reserve banks. You don't think there's a possibility that we can't win together? If I'm selecting the members who are holding rates down and we're making more money by holding rates, I should say holding rates up, if I'm somehow influencing the Federal Reserve who have the power, shouldn't we look at some kind of a conflict of interest? I don't know. I'm not into conspiracy theories, but I've been looking at the Federal Reserve System, and now more than ever, I'm seeing a market that is easily manipulated by the words and the headlines on the news, as well as of the president and even of some members of Congress. At the end of the day, I'm a loan officer. I don't work for a bank. I am a broker. My job is to get you approved as quickly as possible and find you the best loan for you at the lowest cost and best rate. I'm at the mercy of this thing called the Federal Reserve, which is adjusting rates, which is influencing rates, determining rate cuts, I should say. So that's where I stand. That's where we stand. And for you as a home buyer, it's important that you're working with a lender who is aware of the market shifts that we're seeing today. Where rates are at 8 a.m. could be completely different at noon today. We have seen pendulum shifts, and I talk about this a lot, that are a quarter difference in interest rate from 8 a.m. to noon. So remember that the market is going to shift. It's going to be influenced. I'm not going to say manipulated, but it's going to be influenced by headlines and words of people in power. And those words can crash the market on a dime. So you got to be ready to lock that interest rate. If you want a rate quote, or if you want me to help you find a loan that has the best cost, best rate, and is the easiest one to get approved for you, I've got 147 partners I work with. And so we have a lot of different options, and we want to help you and show you how we can save you money. That's it for this market update, guys. I know we were all over the place today. I hope you found some use out of this. If you would please subscribe to this channel, that helps us pay the bills. Have a good day. Tim Rhey, True Rate Mortgage Group. Give me a call if I can help.